It's good to be here again. I'm grateful that I can be here, that I woke up this morning, and that it's okay to come here. You all invite me here. Grateful to Rudy and Zet. So this morning, I'm going to talk about something probably always I talk about. It's a medicine way, and it's called a medicine way because it's healing. This medicine way was developed by Aboriginal people, Native people, live here on Turtle Island. This is not psychology or psychiatry. That stuff comes from over the big water from Europe. So that's not this. So when the lady said I did therapy, that might not be true. Mostly what I think I do is teaching or sharing. This medicine was shared with me over a period of a lot of years. And one of my last teachers was an older sister, Germaine Sitting Crow. So I mentioned her name to honor her. And part of what I share with you today is to honor her. Her instructions to me as she was crossing was share the medicine, help the people, and stay on the clock. So that's what's happening here today. Then in my current studies about the medicine, it's been clear to me that there's some things that are shared with the people, like in our Thursday night training group, that are very difficult concepts. And it's not because my intention is to make them difficult. Like my intention is to use really small words all the time and to make it as simple as I can. So this morning in particular, my thought was that maybe it's me that's having a hard time with this. Maybe it's me that's having a hard time getting this. So today, we're going to talk about this medicine way, and it's just a way of looking at the world. It's not anything I'm recommending you do or saying you should do. None of that's going on here. One of my readings was from the great Buddha, and apparently the great Buddha said there's 88,000 ways up the hill. So this is just one of the 88,000, nothing more than that. Because of my culture and my genotype and phenotype, I have some affinity for this medicine. So to share the medicine, it was always done with teaching stories. And for the last couple of years, there's been an attempt to write about it. And what keeps coming up is really challenging for me to write about it, even though I have somebody that knows a lot about writing helping me. So today we're just going to do a teaching story again. And this is my helper here. This is another person. The reason I'm using you is because I'm reluctant to point to anybody. So here it is. Frequently in our culture, and the way I was taught growing up, we say things like, "You piss me off. You ruined my day. You hurt my feelings. You upset me." We say that to another person. In this medicine way, the old ones, the elders say that when I talk like that, I have said to the universe or the field of potential or creator, I have said with my words, you have power over me. You can change the way I feel against my will. We have said that. You piss me off. You are up here and I'm down here. You have power over me. When I talk like that, I put myself in the victim role, which really sucks. Everybody understands that word, right? In our clinic, when little people come in, 5 or 6 years old, and they understand that word. And there's some people that are up in their 80s that come in and they understand that word. So to be a leaf at the mercy of the wind sucks. To give away my power, my choice, to say you have the power to ruin my day, puts me in the victim role. And I'm doing that with my words when I talk like that. Now, over the years of studying this, it's become clear to me that in my own challenges with this medicine, and sometimes with other people, some of us do not want to give up the idea that you hurt my feelings. We want to hold you responsible for how I feel. If I hold you responsible, then I'm blameless. I'm a victim. It's your fault. So we're not talking about physical abuse. When if someone is being abused and comes into the clinic, we recommend they remove themselves from this and then study how they got into this when they've moved away from it. So I'm talking now very specifically about what Don Miguel Ruiz calls being impeccable with my language. So on this medicine path, we would say, you do something and I react. And as a matter of fact, Spirit may have put you in my life to show me how reactive I am. Spirit may have put you in front of me to show me again and again, in my case, and again and again and again, how quickly it is for me to move into judgment. You're wrong. It's your fault I'm hurting. Now, some of you are old enough to understand some of these victim stories may be 40 or 50 or 60 years old. That really sucks. So, this is being filmed. Oh, crap. Oh, well. So if anybody's watching, I use the word sucks. Obvious by now, huh? So, some of these stories about what you did could be really old, which means energetically, as I walk through the world, as I interact with people, I've got you with me. And you know, there's not enough chairs in this room for some of us. We could be carrying a lot of chairs, you know, like this. The chiropractor that has space in our clinic across the courtyard, he says he loves it when people are carrying other people emotionally. It's L4, L5. People don't like this part of the medicine. I didn't like this part of the medicine. Be clear about that. I had old stories. I'm this way because of my father. I'm this way because of my culture. I'm this way because of the crap I learned in the Army. I'm this way because rather than I choose. So in this medicine, there are two legs. It has a foundation. We're two-legged, so this medicine has two legs. The four-leggeds don't need this medicine. The ones who fly don't need this medicine. Only us two-leggeds. And I guess it's not correct. We really don't need this medicine. This is a choice. Walking this medicine trail, following this path, is called, up on the reservation, walking the Good Red Road. The Good Red Road is north. It's narrow. The west is black. It's either chaos or potential, depending on my mindset. The black road is really crowded. The black road is filled with people that say, you pissed me off. You pulled in front of me, so my road rage is appropriate. You put 22 items in a 15 only line. Y'all laughing because you know. You know. There's a lady that came from Colorado last week, and she said she's always keeping track. of what other people are doing. She's not aware that she's keeping track of other people who are doing stuff. She's not aware that when she's keeping track, her serotonin goes down, her blood pressure goes up, her immune system drops, the joy in the world disappears, and she creates that. She actually believed other people create her upset by putting 22 in the 15 only line. She blames the world for her suffering. She's a victim. Sometimes I thought last week when she was here, she's here for a week, this must be hard for you. and she said at the end of the week, this is hard for me. She said, sometimes I don't like you. And I said, I've heard that. I've heard that. It makes my heart swell. Thank you, Creator. I'm one of those people that piss you off, huh? Yeah, and I do my best. I do my best. So this medicine way is about not being a leaf at the mercy of the wind, about taking responsibility. One leg is awareness. What and who do I react to and when? The other leg is responsibility. I react. You don't piss me off. I react to you. And I want to blame you for my emotional state of being, which is connected to my physical state of being, which is also connected to my mental state, and which is also, in this medicine, connected to my spiritual level of awareness, consciousness. Body, mind, spirit are all connected in this medicine. So the place where I hang out during the week is a holistic medical clinic. My partner, Dr. Shane, and I built it in 2006. And she does the physical, and I do the teaching part. And what we teach is this medicine. So over the last year or two, my studies have been how difficult it is for us to accept this. And what I realized is some of the difficulty is letting go of this. Probably it's obvious that if I have a chair like this, let us say that I've been divorced, which I have, and I'm unfinished with my former spouse, and I'm carrying some blame and resentment, this could be in the way between me and the next lady I'm with. In other words, she might not get the whole enchilada, so to speak. Some of it's going here. So my awareness is whether or not I'm carrying this, and my responsibility is, am I carrying this? So this medicine says that I can quit carrying this if I'm willing to look at my part. So in this medicine, people say, well, how do I let go of the past? Like, tell me how. I already know holding on to it doesn't work. How do I let go? Well, in this medicine, we work in the inverse a lot. We work with polarities, the reversal. If I want to know how to let go of my history, I must begin to study how do I hold on. That's my responsibility. If I want to know how to let go, I begin to study, to explore, to stalk, to look for how I hold on. Because I'm responsible for holding on. Some of y'all know that this person I'm holding on to could be dead. That's how old this could be. So sometimes I do hospice work where I go hang around with people that are crossing over, and what always comes up is they're crossing over and they got some unfinished business with some other people. And they don't want to die holding on to that stuff. So sometimes we don't have a lot of time to work through this. And sometimes the idea of letting go of something that they've held on to for 40 years is particularly painful emotionally. To come to that realization, I've held on to this. I've been angry and upset and resentful. I've been carrying this around with me everywhere I go. This is between me and everybody, in the middle of all my relationships, and I've... Yeah. All right. Thank you, Creator. Yeah, well, there's less of you now, huh? I'm going to make this an offering. Far out. So this is how teaching stories work. Thank you. Wopila. Wopila. I couldn't have figured that out on my own. That was good. That's very good. So at the moment that the person is talking about this in the hospice session, it's very painful emotionally for them to understand, I've held on to this. I'm responsible. I'm responsible. So I'm either going to go into my next adventure, my next lifetime, or whatever that is, holding on to this, or I'm going to let go. So here's a kind of strange thing. I would say weird thing, as somebody explained to me the word weird comes from over the water, Britain, really means supernatural. I didn't know that. So here's a weird thing. If I decide that I want to let go of this, if I decide I'm responsible, if I decide this is my responsibility to let go of my history, I begin that process of what the ancient one called burning my personal history, letting go of it, which means that I'm no longer defined by my history, which means in this medicine way, I become real. I become who I really am. The old ones called it freedom, that I'm not carrying this stuff around. I'm free. That most people are bound with their history. And apparently, a lot of us are not aware of it. Apparently, a lot of us speak things that we've been taught as if they're true, without any awareness that we're responsible for holding on to those beliefs. And those beliefs are like filters between us and the world. Like if I have the belief that all short people are sneaky, that all Chinese people are like the Buddha. If I have these beliefs, here's one that I grew up with, all Native Americans are drunks. And I spent some time proving that was true. There's not a lot of regrets there. It was some good whiskey. So, I regret not buying stock in Jack Daniels. That's my regret. So anyway, a lot of our beliefs we inherited are like filters between us and the world. We don't see the world. This medicine says if I'm interested, I'm responsible for letting go of these filters to see the world. And a big part of letting go of the filters, the how-to, is to look at who and what I react to take responsibility, to not blame the world for my emotions. So this is kind of a narrow path. A lot of people don't like this part of the medicine. We did a group Thursday night. We usually do a Thursday night training group, and it's no charge if you ever want to come, from 7 to 9 in Kerrville. And we talked a lot about how the world will mirror what it might be good for me to look at. So if I have an issue with being in control, I might be around people who just mess with my being in control. There was another lady in the group who shared with us that her way of being controlling was to play victim. And other people in the group, I mean, it worked perfectly. We were exploring this, and the lady began to warm up and took her sweater off. And another lady said, "Can I turn on the fan for her?" No. No. Leave it alone. Stay out of it. So she wanted to help, right? She doesn't look at how she uses, poor me, to manipulate her husband in her marriage. But he got it. He was nodding his head and said, anyway. This medicine is kind of challenging. So what I've been studying is my interest in being more clear and how this part of the medicine is very challenging. So this morning, after studying it some more, my decision is, this is challenging for me too, to take total responsibility for how I feel, how I think, how I act, how I behave. So I'm grateful to you all for giving me this opportunity to share this again. As Sister said to me years and years ago, if you can share this with people in a clear way, there's a chance, younger brother, that you might understand it. So that's what I'm doing here. Wupi Latanka, which means big thank you in Lakota. Bless you all. Hoka.